How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit the bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on my channel. In this video, we're going to be continuing on reading through my book series. Of course, this is the final book in my entire book series, Stacey, the Halo War. This is part 2. Make sure you guys, of course, check out the introduction and overview video for this book. And, of course, part 1 before you guys continue on in this book. If you guys are reading along with me, we're going to be starting on page 15, chapter 5, the Terra meeting. And to give you guys a real quick overview of what has happened already, basically the Halos have taken over all of Earth. Everyone that was left on Earth is dead. And then the skillet has about 200 people on it with my Douglas Armstrong family and whatnot on it. And we're kind of mad that the Halos, which are from the planet Terra, have killed us almost all. And apparently the Halos really want Douglas Armstrong dead. So that's where we've left off in the story-wise. And I hope you guys enjoyed part 2. And with that, let's get into it. Chapter 5, the Terra meeting. Year 2033, 3 years later. The crew of the Skillet had gathered in the ship's gigantic gathering space, seated in the gathering space. Sorry, that didn't come out right at all. The crew of the Skillet had gathered in the ship's gigantic gathering space, seated in the gathering space, which had a painting of Earth at its center and some glass windows, were the last 11 people on board the ship. The last known humans in space had arrived at the homeworld of the Halos and were discussing what to do next. "We should destroy all the Halos on the planet," said Ted Jones, the ship's 42-year-old pilot. "I think we should also," said Mike Evans, a 42-year-old weapons specialist. "I believe attacking Terra would be very unwise," said Cody Keller, the ship's 42-year-old co-pilot. "I agree with Ted and Mike," said General Paul Cullis, now 43. "We should consider more options," said President John Cooper, now 50. Both of the 21-year-old twins and Andrew's 22-year-old daughter hoped for a peaceful resolution. Yet they did not speak when given the opportunity. "Stacey, what do you think we should do?" asked Andrew, the 40-year-old man. "I'm not sure. Both sides have good and bad reasons," replied my 39-year-old wife. "What about you?" asked Andrew to me. "I think attacking Terra would be unwise," I replied, being 39. "Earth is gone. We are the last survivors of humanity. The future depends on us," said Andrew. Yes, it does. However, your plan calls for the conquest and perhaps the destruction of Terra," I replied. "We have superior weaponry and firepower. We have unbreakable defenses. We have no more time to discuss this. We only have air on the ship for another 3 months. The mistake would be not to act," said Andrew. "I will not allow you to blow up the planet. Yet I agree for a team to search the planet and see if we can make Terra our new home. If there are Halos, we will eliminate them. But if we can't take control of Terra easily, then we will leave," I said. "Who is going?" asked Andrew. "Stacey, Henry, Amy, Jenny, Paul, Andrew, Mike, Cody, and I will scout the planet, while John and Ted remain on board the Skillet," I answered. 1 hour later, Ted and Cody landed the Skillet on the planet in a mountain range near a river. The team scout left in 2 armored jeeps with mounted machine guns and missile launchers. The team members were all armed with machine guns, grenades, and earpieces to protect and communicate each other and to keep in contact with the Skillet. "Are you sure about this, honey?" asked Stacey. "Not at all. At least we're not guilty of destroying a possible planet to begin the human race again," I replied. Chapter 6, the River. "Douglas, this is Ted. I'm testing the connection with the earpieces," said the man on the Skillet with John. "The connection is strong and we will report in on our progress and if we find anything," I replied. "Roger that. Scans show a nearby river. If you follow that, you should enter an area with high power levels. It might be a village," said Ted. "Copy that," I replied. As the scout team continued driving in the jeeps, I instructed Stacey and Paul to drive alongside the river. After that, I turned to the back seat of the jeep, which Stacey, Amy, Henry, Jenny, and I were in, to see my son talking with Jenny and her laughing. I could see a similar smile on both of their faces, like when Stacey and I first met, and a relationship happened in my mind. A revelation happened in my mind. My son was falling in love with a stranger's daughter. Moments later, the two jeeps drove into a messy and misty area and forced Stacey and Paul to turn on the vehicle's fog lights. "Douglas, I can't see anything," said Paul on his earpiece, driving the jeep in front of us with Andrew, Mike, and Cody with him. "Move left and stop. We'll continue on foot," I responded. Both jeeps came to a halt, and the team of 9 members heard a strange sound of something talking. "What was that?" asked Jenny, holding Henry's hand while both of them aimed their machine guns into the foggy unknown. The group formed a circle, using the jeeps as cover, and felt the ground begin to shake. "Stand your ground, but don't shoot unless I give the order," I said, acting as the group leader, which made Andrew upset. "Why do you want to be the one that only gets to give orders?" asked Andrew to me. "Because of the president and you. John knows my secretive past, and you wanted my help to save humanity. That means I am leader as long as my orders don't kill us," I replied. "Fine, I'll allow you to be captain, at least for now," said Andrew. Suddenly the ground stopped shaking. Adrenaline rushed through the group members and ceased when the ground continued to shake. Seconds later, an enormous squid walked out of the river using its tentacles and hands like feet. "Hold your fire," I stated. The black-colored squid looked at my team and moved its tentacles around the jeeps. Then the creature picked them up and tossed the ride so far we couldn't see them. While it distracted us with the jeeps, some of the monster's tentacles had circled around my feet. All of a sudden, the squid gripped my legs and picked me up. "Douglas!" yelled Stacey. "Do not shoot," I said to my team. The squid lifted me up to its left eye and wondered what I was. "Hello there, Mr. Squid. You mind putting me down gently?" I said. The squid moved me away from its body and tossed me a great distance into the fog. "No!" yelled Stacey. The squid quickly sank back down into the river, and Stacey fell on her knees in tears. "Mom, I doubt Dad is dead," said Amy. "What makes you say that?" asked Stacey. "Your husband is strong. He won't die without a cause," said Andrew. "He is right," said Paul. "Yes," said Cody. "Thank you all. Let's find him," said Stacey. Chapter 7. Zombie Village. Oh, I love this chapter. Where is... "How are we going to locate your husband?" asked Mike to Stacey. "If Douglas is alive, he will follow the river. If we do the same at a faster pace, we should be able to catch up with him," answered Stacey. Stacey, Henry, Amy, Jenny, Paul, Andrew, Mike, and Cody continued to walk at a quicker rate alongside the river. 24 minutes later, the team saw fresh footprints imprinted in the ground. "He's alive, Mom," said Henry. "Yes, and headed for civilization, too," said Andrew, seeing the prints headed towards a village of metal buildings. The team entered the mysterious village that was completely ruined from ages of decay, rusty metal, overgrown trees, plants, and weeds. "Ted, John, are you guys there?" asked Stacey, using her earpiece to talk with the team on the skillet. "Yes, we are here," replied Ted, with John alongside him on the command bridge. "I wanted to inform you that Douglas is missing, yet we have located a village he traveled into. If he calls you, let us know," said Stacey. "Of course, Stacey," said Ted. "How did Douglas go missing?" asked John. "He got separated when we were attacked by a walking squid," replied Stacey. "That's cool," said Ted. "Only if it didn't toss him mid-air several miles," said Stacey. "I think that is even better," said Ted. The conversation ended between the two teams, and the scout team searched the houses, cars, and guard towers for me. "This place doesn't look like Halo technology," said Andrew. "Agreed, Dad. It looks like humans were here before the Halo race," said Jenny. "Everyone come with me. Let's go inspect the main base of operations building, said Stacey. The 8 searchers walked into the multi-level tower building by Cody, kicking down the main door. Paul, what if Andrew says is true about this place being a human village before the Halos came? What do you think humans were doing here and what happened to them? Asked Stacey. A previous president sent teams to planets to seek out life. I would think this was a targeted planet before Andrew and his crew came here, replied Paul. I agree. My crew and I never found this village on the first trip to Terra, but that doesn't mean other humans were not here too, said Andrew, lying again. Look at this, said Amy. The group looked to see a walk-through ring, aka Stargate, and a blasted shielded booth with one red button. I wonder what this does, said Amy. I don't care. Let's find your dad, said Stacey. The team moved onwards out of the room with the machine and into the room over, which was the kitchen. What is that smell? Asked Cody, about to vomit into a pan full of vomit-like food. It's not the smell, said Mike, smelling the rotten food. What can it be then? Asked Cody. It's coming from the freezer, answered Mike. Paul and Andrew struggled to open the rusted shut door, but eventually succeeded. The team entered, the lights turned on automatically, and the group went into shock to see 20 human bodies with their heads missing. The bones and some of the blood were all that remained. The 8 members of the team rushed out of the freezer, and Cody vomited on a rotten caramel cake. I didn't see Douglas, said Andrew. I didn't either, said Jenny. That means Douglas is still alive, said Stacey. Let's check the next room, said Cody, cleaning up from his accident. The group moved on and entered the security room. Mike pressed a few buttons on the main computer and was able to show the last security video. The video played and revealed to the scouts that the village was used as an experimentation outpost to cure all diseases known to mankind, but instead created zombies. The 10 doctors that were working on the cure were working on a dead woman, became zombies when the dead woman returned to life, and spread the infection by biting into the unarmed doctors. The village became a zombie village. Everyone either escaped to Earth on a shuttle or were killed. The video ended and everyone knew Terra was getting stranger with every second of something new being unveiled. Why would the 10 zombies kill instead of infecting other humans? Asked Andrew. I'm not a zombie expert, but if the infection could not take you over, maybe death would be better, rather than humans being allowed to kill them, said Paul. Suddenly, Stacey looked at a mirror, and in the reflection, 2 zombies stood behind the group. Stacey quickly turned around to kill them with her machine gun, but before she could kill the zombies, gunfire was heard, and the creatures' bodies fell to the ground. The team looked to see Douglas and his machine gun's chamber with smoke coming out of it. Stacey kissed Douglas, and Amy and Henry gave a hug all at once. We have to move. The rest will be here soon, I said. The team of 9 members again followed me down the nearby dark hallway where some lights were on to see the floor, while being chased by the other 8 zombies, which had heard the gunfire. I showed the group a room and rushed them inside as the monsters got closer to us. Once everyone was inside of the room, I dashed inside and closed the door. Yet a zombie put its head in the way, bit my right arm, and tried to burst open the door. I quickly reacted and punched the zombie several times in the face. The zombies got out of the doorway and allowed me to lock it down. The guys placed tables and shelves to block the door while Stacey looked at my infected right arm. Don't worry, honey, I've been bitten by those demons twice already, but the infection doesn't affect me, I said. Good to see you alive, said Andrew. Good to know, I said. Douglas, what do we do now? Asked Paul. We will have 15 minutes after they leave to get back to the skillet. I've seen enough of Terra to last me a lifetime, and I think we should destroy the entire planet, I said. As the zombies left, Andrew had a sad look on his face. I wanted Terra not destroyed because it would have a rebellion and eventually lead this group to the machine so my plan would work. I have to find a way to get them to stay and not destroy Terra. I've got it. I'll lead them into the temple, said Andrew in his mind. The 15 minutes passed by. The group left the room and slowly and silently headed towards the door to reach the path to the skillet. However, 5 zombies were standing in the way, sleeping. "What do we do now?" asked Andrew loudly. The zombies looked at the group, after awakening from Andrew's loud voice, and started running at them. "Run to the basement!" I yelled. The zombies chased the group through the building, and eventually the other 3 zombies came in front of the human group. "Shoot the head!" I said. Paul, Andrew, and I each killed a zombie in front of us. Then the group raced down a stairway that went underground. The team ran down the stairs, and exited them into a tunnel. The tunnel was dug by the humans before the halos arrived, I said, with it lit with hanging light bulbs, and having seen videos into the security room as well. "Keep going," said Stacey. As the zombies continued to pursue my group, Andrew realized this was not going to help his master plan and hidden plan. Andrew pulled the pin out of a grenade and tossed it at the tunnel's roof. All of a sudden, the tunnel collapsed, and the last 5 zombies were killed by the falling rocks. "Your loud talking prevented us from making a stealthy escape, and making us having no way to the skillet," I said, very mad with Andrew. "We are alive," said Andrew, smiling. The group realized they couldn't go back the way they came into the tunnel, and I decided, or Andrew planned, for us all to travel the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, we discovered a large pit that went down 2 miles. Once I tossed a small flashlight down it and used formulas to calculate the distance. "Douglas, what if Andrew planned for us to be unable to get back to the skillet?" asked Stacey, having seen his different smiles and groans. "He means well," I replied. "Does he?" asked Stacey. "What do you think?" I asked. "I think he might know more about Terra and this area of the planet than he is telling us," said Stacey. "You mean you think he is a Halo?" I said. "Yes," answered Stacey. Chapter 8. The Pit. After narrowly escaping either being a zombie or being killed by a zombie, Cody and Mike looked around to see a rocky pathway from the top of the pit to its bottom. "Everyone, keep your eyes and ears ready for anything," I said, leading the group on the path down the pit. While the group walked and walked for what seemed like an eternity, Jenny slipped off the path, yet Henry, in the nick of time, grabbed her right hand and rescued her. "Thank you," said Andrew to my son. "You're welcome, sir," answered Henry. As the team helped Jenny get back on the path, the broken piece of the rock path crashed down to the bottom of the pit, awakening an ancient evil. Within seconds, the group could hear a sound familiar to Andrew and Jenny, coming from the bottom of the pit and coming closer. "What is that noise?" asked Amy. "Hell bats," answered Andrew. The team watched as 5 bats, which had night vision, sharp teeth, no eyes, no nose, bat-like feet, and colored in black, blasting up towards them. "Run!" yelled Andrew to me. Everyone ran down the path while 50 times bigger than normal bats shot venom from their mouths very fast and accurately at them. As the group ran at a lightning fast speed, I realized the venom shots were melting the path behind them and anything else the shot impacted. Moments later, one of the hellbats shot and didn't miss its target, the person last in line. "No!" yelled Cody. While everyone continued to run from the 5 monsters, they all watched as Mike Evans' legs disappeared, and seconds later had his body ripped apart by the hellbats. As the team weapon specialist was eaten, Stacey showed me a cave. "Quickly inside," I said. The group raced inside of the cave and hid behind several large rocks inside of it. The 8 humans wondered what was going to happen next with the hellbats flying outside, waiting to eat them all. A few seconds later, Andrew used sign language to me to use grenades on the creatures. However, I responded back that the explosion would collapse rocks on top of us and either kill us or trap us in the pit. I pulled out a mirror from my pants pocket and used it to see the hellbat's location. While I used the mirror to spot the location of a hellbat, Stacey would relay the coordinates by talking softly to Andrew. Then, Andrew would use his machine gun to kill them, one by one. After my strategy worked, the 5 hellbats were dead. Let's get going, I said, putting away my small mirror. As the team left the cave, the 2 men on board the skillet attempted to check in with the scout team. Anything? Asked John to Ted. Nothing. I fear something has happened, replied Ted. Me too. But please keep trying, said John. Chapter 9. The Cave. With Mike Evans dead, the group was now only 8 members. The group continued to walk down the rock-like stairway, and 1 hour later reached the bottom of the pit. My family and friends looked around to see my battery-dead flashlight and discovered the unthinkable. The pit was a way in and out of an underground world. Looks like the people that worked at the village above us plan to explore the area, said Stacey, seeing 3 empty jeeps. While the men checked the gas level of the jeeps, Stacey, Amy, and Jenny enjoyed the sight of the underground world. Blue birds that turned invisible, carnivorous plants, yellow-colored water coming down waterfalls, and friendly hamsters were some of the amazing sights of the new world in the cave. Looks like we can drive these jeeps and try to find a way back to the surface, said Andrew. Good, I said. Suddenly the ground rumbled, and the group looked around to see 10 raptors rush out of the bush and try to eat the lost people. Tara gets better and better, said Cody. Agreed, said Paul. Will the both of you shut your mouths and fire weapons, said Andrew. As the group members killed the raptors using their machine gun, the ground rumbles got louder and revealed its true source. A very hungry T-Rex. Don't move, I said. You do that, but I'm out of here, said Cody. While everyone else stood in a frozen position, Cody ran for the driver's seat of a Jeep. As soon as Cody got in the Jeep, the T-Rex picked up the other 2 Jeeps with its mouth, tossed them into the air, and watched as they exploded on impact when they came crashing down. While Cody tried to start the Jeep, another dinosaur entered the area. What now? Asked Stacey to me. I thought about what to do as the T-Rex smashed the Jeep Cody was inside of and killed him, while it prepared to fight the Spinosaurus that just walked into the area. Andrew, let's grenade these creatures, I said. Andrew smiled, and the both of them tossed a grenade at the beast's head. The explosion blasted directly in front of both of the meat-eaters' faces and blew their heads up. The remains of the brains and blood covered the ground, which was both an amazing and ugly sight in the underground world. Let's hope we don't encounter any other hostiles, said Stacey. Let's get going inside of this odd-looking temple, I said, not knowing what dangers still were left to be discovered on Terra, and while Andrew smiled to know his plan was perfectly working so far. Chapter 10. Terra Terror. Anything yet? Asked John to Ted, both on the skillet. Nothing. This is not like Douglas or Andrew to be late this long to check in, replied Ted. What should we do if they don't call us back? Asked John. Leave the planet, answered Ted. I guess so, said John. Back underground on Terra, the team scout that entered the temple looked around to see strange rocks with yellow fluid inside and something moving around. On the top of the pillar-like rocks were cups made of granite. The cups were empty until my daughter, Amy, touched one of them. The cup immediately filled with black worms that were once inside of the rock. What are these alien worms? Asked Amy, about to touch one of the worms. Get away from that! It's a terror worm! Yelled Andrew. Unfortunately, it was too late, for the alien worm jumped into Amy's nose. Everyone was so scared to realize Amy was infected and wondered what to do. Hey everyone, I see a way out, I said, seeing a tunnel out of the underground cave world. As the team was concerned for Amy, they all walked out of the tunnel to see at last natural sunlight and the skillet. The doors to board the ship opened to reveal to the scout team John and Ted. Where's Mike and Cody? Why is Amy walking funny? Asked Ted. I informed Ted and John of the village, the cave, the deaths, and the current Terra situation. They were shocked at our discovery and hoped Amy, my beautiful daughter, would be okay. Let's get inside of the ship and have Amy placed in the examination room to find out more about this Terra worm, said John. Chapter 11. Infection. The remaining crew of 9 were examining Amy's infection, while Andrew and Jenny informed everyone about the Terra worm. Terras are an alien race that are grown like worms. They are placed in a host and come out as a monster, said Andrew. What type of monster? I asked. A creature bigger than a terror worm, replied Jenny. Will my daughter live? Asked Stacey. Andrew and Jenny were silent, and gave the responsive no with it. Can we remove it? Asked Henry. No, replied Andrew. With Douglas being furious, Stacey very sad, and Henry upset, everyone comforted them. However, the crying was over quickly. All of a sudden, a terror exploded out of Amy's stomach and chest, killing my beautiful daughter. The creature had 8 legs, no eyes, no nose, and a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. Watch out for venom in its mouth, said Andrew. It's like a hellbat, but on ground it has more brains than speed, said Jenny. In the flash of a few seconds, the terror quickly fired a terror worm at Paul and infected him. The terror used its venom to melt through the ship and ran back into the underground world, while the terror in Paul exploded out of his chest, revealing the general was actually a robot in human skin with white blood. Afterwards, the second terror grabbed a hold of President John Cooper and ate him in one swallow. Andrew and I grabbed a pack of sticky C4 from a nearby shelf, placed it on the distracted monster's back, and everyone ducked for cover, and the terror exploded into oblivion, leaving only dust particles behind. Chapter 12. Human or Halo. What now? Asked Stacey, mourning for our daughter's death. I would like to know how Andrew and Jenny knew so much about Terra, because if they knew so much about the deadly Terra creatures, I doubt we would have landed here at all, I said. Andrew and Jenny looked around to realize it was time to reveal their long-guarded secret. When my first crew on board this ship came to Terra, we discovered a device we called the Machine, said Andrew. The Machine changed us all that day into Halos, stated Andrew. With me being the first Halo, I was ranked as the High Commander and spent many years preparing my kind to attack Earth, said Andrew. Why? I asked. The Machine can make humans into Halos and Halos into humans. Our plan was to do whatever it took to give strong humans the ability to leave Earth and join us, said Jenny. Not noticing, she told us humans how to reverse the Halo effect. What about the weak humans? Asked Ted. They were killed on Earth. You are the ones that will join us as Halos when we return to the zombie village and force you to walk into the ring you found. Afterwards, we will kill the escaped Terra and destroy all remaining Terra forces in the universe, said Andrew. What about the planet Terra? Asked Henry. Terra was never the Halo home planet. It was the home to the aliens called Terras. We might have been made Halos here. However, we plan to kill the Terras, once and for all, so we can have a new human life without a dangerous threat, replied Andrew. Your plan is to return to Earth? I asked. Once we're done here, stated Jenny. Sorry to report this to you, but we received a transmission stating all Halos on Earth were killed by Terras and are remaining there, said Ted. No! Yelled Andrew. Did you have that Halo droid, back when we left Earth, try to kill my husband? Asked Stacey to Andrew. Yes. I liked you from the moment I saw you and needed him dead so I could marry you, said Andrew. Stacey, Henry, Ted, and I aimed our machine guns at the 2 Halos and prepared to kill them. You are responsible for the Halo War, and we are going to end it today, I said. Are you? Asked Andrew, with a smile. And I'm going to end the video here, guys. That's going to end part 2. Look forward to part 3 coming out very soon. You guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Have a good one, guys. Bye.